ህፃን ብርሃነ ገብረ መስቀል ነባር ወረዳ ሓውዚን ኮይኑ ምስ ካልኦት ክልተ ኣሕዋቱ ኣብ መጓሰ ጠለበጊዕ እናሃለወ ወታደራት ፋሽስታውያን ኮነ ኢሎም ኣብ መሬት ትግራይ ዝገደፍ ውነታዊ ተፈንጂሩ ካብ መንጎም ሓደ እንትመውት ክልቲኦም ድማ ንከቢድ መቕሰልቲ ተሳጢሖም
ቀጥቂጡ ቦምቢ ካብኡ ንጣርዕን ናቶም ሰብስቲፍን ላዕሊ ኦዲዮ ናየው ናህልኹ ወዕልን ንስኡ ሓደ ሞይቱ ሓደ ወራ ተሓኪ ሰንካ ኣብይ ኢሳያስ ናካፍዕነ ነይሮም ቃል ሓሰር ክዛዕለይ ቃፅሉ እዮም ነይሮም
ወላዲ እቲ ህፃን ኣይተገብረ መስቀል ደስታ ዳግማይ ደርግን ፋሽስታውያን ወረርቲ ህዝቢ ትግራይ ሓመዶም ነጊፎም ተላዒሎም ሕዚ ትግራዋይ ንምጥፋእ ኣብ መሬት ትግራይ ዘካይድዎ ዘለው ግፍዓዊ ወራርን ጆኖሳይድን ግዳይ ካብ ዝኾን ዘሎ ትግራዋይ ብርሃነ ሓደ ኢሎም
ሓደ ላውዚ ሰለስቲኦም ዝሓይሎም እዮም ሓደ የተገነየ ብኣካል ህይወት እውን የተገነየ ለግዚኡ ህይወት የገነየናየ ያቶም ግን ሓደ ወዲ ሓብተይ እዩ ናኩሉ ናስ ብሎም ቤተሰብ እዮም
ብርሃነ በቲ ዝበፅሖ ከቢድ መጉዳእቲ ክተርፍ እዩ ዝብል ተስፋ ከም ዘይነበሮም ዝገለፁ እቶም ወላዲ ሕዚ ብዝግበረሉ ዘሎ ክትትል ሕክምና ኣብ ዝሐሸ ብርኪ ይርከብ ኢሎም
ናይ ብርሃነ ጉዳይ ዓሻው ትምስዋዕስ ንሕናስ ከምዚ
Hey guys, welcome to Cyber Power of Tigray Media. Tonight I have two of my buddies. We've been chanting, protesting, screaming, yelling, doing all the things, but peacefully, of course that is. So we got Samhal from, well, I'm not going to say from actually, so for safety reasons, I'll let you guys do your location. But anyway, and then we have Housing. So we're going to talk about the upcoming protests in DC, and I'm going to let these two amazing young ladies who's been protesting, who's been bigger than protesting, organizing, planning all these protests that we've been traveling all over the United States, which is to bring awareness, the genocide that has been going on for almost a year now. So we'll talk about that. Of course, the video that I show is a reminder. It is an old video that was aired on Tigray TV, but it is this kind of victim that we, the Tigrayan Americans in the United States and throughout the world, we've been speaking with one voice. That is the genocide in Tigray, the war that took place in Tigray needs to stop. And Abiy Ahmed of Ethiopia, Isaias Afwerki of Eritrea are the two main folks who's been attacking civilians in Tigray. So ዓለም ሙሉእ ዘለኹም ኣሕዋት ይቅርታ ናይ ሎማዓንቲ ዕላማና ነቲ ናይ ዓለም ህዝቢ ብሙሉእ ዘሎ ብእንግሊዝኛ ቋንቋ ኢና ክንማየጥ ዕላማና ናይ ዋሽንግተን ዲሲ ኣብ ትግራይ ብህዝብና ተሰርሐ ግፍዒ ናይ ሓደ ዓመት ኣብዚ ዝመፅእ ዘሎ ሰሙን ናይ 4 መዓልቲ ሰላማዊ ሰልፊ ስለ ነካይድ እቲ ድምፅና ንዓለም ሙሉእ ዘሎ ህዝቢ ንክነስምዕና ኣብ ኣሜሪካና ኣብ ካናዳ ዘሎ ኣሕዋትና ተጋሩ ከምኡ እውን ፈተውቲ ተጋሩ ፈተውቲ ትግራይ እቲ መልእኽቲ ንክረኽብዎ ናባና መፅኦም ከዓን ብሓደ ድምፂ ኮይና ንክነስምዕ ድምፅና እቲ ግፍዒ ተሰርሐ ትግራይ ክነስምዖ ድምፅና እዩ ዕላማና እዚ እናበልኩ so first I'm gonna jump in. I'll go with you, Housing. How you doing? How are things going?
Yeah, thank you for having us on first and to promote the protest commemoration of the 1-year anniversary of the genocide. Mike, honestly, it's up and down. Some days are better than others. Lately, it's been pretty rough days with the aerial bombardment of Mekelle and on other cities in Tigray. But you know, I remain having hope that this is going to conclude soon and our people will be free. But I'm doing okay. Thank you.
Yeah, that's in every Tigrayan's mind. So somehow you heard what Housing's saying. Like it's like a roller coaster. You know, it's like every day we wake up, we're just like, okay, what story are we going to hear today? Of course, TDF is fighting hard. Of course, young and old and all ages of Tigrayans are fighting for their survival. And the front line is looking pretty good. But we have still genocide taking place in Hawara. And now Abiy is using every weapon available at his disposal to attack children and civilians in Mekelle and throughout the Tigray region. Adwa was also, I mean, various cities that he's targeting. In fact, his target basically is from Shire all the way to Mekelle, Wukro. He wants to destroy every little infrastructure left behind standing, because when the Eritrean troops, the Ethiopian troops came to Tigray, the Amhara militia and Fana, they destroyed and looted most of Tigray's wealth. And I mean, both of you guys, we protested together. We've hang out, we've talked a lot of this, but for our audience, particularly for Americans and Tigrayans who do not understand the politics and don't understand Tigrinya, but are out fighting. I mean, talk to us about what we've done in the last, I mean, is it really 12 months already, first of all?
Yeah.
What have we done in the last 12 months?
I mean, like Halton said, it's a continuum. So like every day you kind of just rally through. You say that we wake up to these news, but most of us really don't sleep. Like we're up until the morning. It's like 4:30, just like refreshing every second, trying to get every little bit of information that we can during this blackout, So it's like, are we even really sleeping? Like, I don't really think there's any moments where we're not like advocating for Tigray, whether it's our daily attire, the jewelry that we wear. Like, I try to tell people, like, the protest is not only like when we go and we march and stuff, it's like a daily thing. Like at this point, everywhere you go, like, there is a way to integrate, hey, have you heard about the genocide in northern part of Ethiopia? Like, I know for me, like, like even the gym that I go to, they let me put flyers there. We let people know. Here in Colorado, like we've had car bashes, like, we've just had more like unique ideas, whether it's through art, merchandise, like poetry, like our social media, everyone's given up their social media for purely Tigray. Like people's bio is like advocating against Tigray genocide. Like, I'm here for this. We hacked algorithms with our Twitter campaigns, with video campaigns. So I feel like in a year, we've done a lot. And then in comparison to sadly other genocides, like, it took them a lot longer. So despite, how it seems, I think that the TDF, in Ethiopia, and then also here, like the Tigray Diaspora force, like we haven't let up, like we've been relentless, and our enemies have not only, used chemically banned weapons, foreign countries, drones, like famine, like they've used everything. And it's like, the people won't give up. Like they want us to lose hope, and they want us to not get up. They want us to see these videos, they leak these videos. Like it's very intentional with them throwing young boys off the cliff so that it breaks your spirit. And so every day I'm just like in awe of our people here and back home.
And real quickly, I remember, speaking of, fundraisers and doing car bash and whatnot, you guys did that actually when I was in Sudan visiting the Refugee, which is why I didn't join you. But I remember afterwards, you were actually on one of the Ethiopian propaganda machine media, calling you the daughter of TPLF, and your mother was the wife of TPLF, when in fact, you were what? You were born in Sudan, right?
I was born in Sudan, yeah.
Yeah. And so we know how much they lie. But I guess I'm coming back to that one, if you don't mind me, is that like, how do we process that kind of thing, and just like, we just put it away and continue? Like what? I mean, I've got some people, some Tigrayans, who actually are emotionally impacted by the bombing that's happening right now in Tigray and everything else. They can't handle some of these things. And I've heard like, some just saying like, I wish I was not alive. And that's like harsh. That really, when you hear your fellow Tigrayans feeling like that pain, but when you and I talk, in many of the protests we traveled together, and when I showed that clip that you showed me actually when I was in one of the protests and hanging out, it really pisses me off. But then on the other hand, it's like, isn't that exactly what they want us to do, is get angry and then go like low like they do?
Well, funny thing about that is not only was it on that news channel, but during the actual fundraiser, we had people call the police and say that we were breaking cars, that they were stolen cars, or they were people's property that we were damaging. So the police department did, come with guns drawn and stuff, and was like, what the hell is going on? Like, that's what he said. Like, the officer was completely angry, and they were like, we had neighbors call, and people said that they were Ethiopians. I don't know for a fact, but they were outside and they were watching us. So they tried to report it. And like, I feel like every time they try to like do something to hurt us, like it just, turns into another reason, like why we are trying to show people like, this is the cause that we're advocating for. Like, we're using, our platform to end a genocide. They are spewing out hate speech and, even in the protest in Los Angeles, like the business owner who pulled out his gun, like it just shows you that they could never even handle an ounce of everything that we have to go through, as well as hoping that our families are still alive.
But are you the daughter of a TPLF that's fighting on the front line today?
That's confidential information I cannot share over live.
You know what though?
No, but Mike, Samhal and I were both born in the same camp in Sudan. Yeah, so we both were born in Gedaref and came to she went to California and came to Colorado. But seeing these refugee camps open again, and then hearing people say, right, so I was at the car bash too, I was in that video too, and hearing people take our experiences where we came from nothing, refugees new to this country, our parents fleeing the same genocidal activities that are happening now, and then to come and try to defend our right to life and speak up for our people, and to be told that just the propaganda that goes along with trying to fight for your survival. It's interesting, but I'm so proud of, like Samhal said, our people here on both sides, right? The diaspora and especially TDF and our people back home. But I'm just so proud to be fighting this fight with my sister Samhal, from the refugee camp to now. So I'm proud of us.
So you guys know Brother Danny is my other half brother on the other side of the halfway in the country here. He's shouting out to all of you. So the refugee situation in Sudan, it's no difference for me. I entered to Sudan at a time where I was not able to walk for half a day because I was just a little kid. So it is in fact PLF then who made sure that I survived. In many parts, they have to carry me on their shoulder while they had the AK-47 on the side. And when I went back to those refugee camps to visit, it felt like deja vu for me. It's heart-wrenching, it's heartbreaking. The humanitarian crisis is no joke. So that's why for these people who are out there saying like, oh, when we do a caravan, like they're like, oh, look, all the TPLF stole money. Like somehow we are the one benefited in the last 20 some odd years that they've been complaining. But we're going to get away from that because you know what? We're not going to let them distract us. We're going to continue the fight, which is we're going to advocate for our people. We're going to stand for Tigray and for Tigrayans until let alone in Tigray, throughout Ethiopia, every Tigrayan is free. I don't know if you guys heard, but just today, I heard that the Biltzagana, which is the Abiy Ahmed's new party, have just made an announcement that any Tigrinya speaking person in Addis Ababa is to be reported to the security services, and they are now going house to house searching. All you have to do is like, oh, my neighbor is Tigrayan origin or speaks Tigrinya or she or he, then they're gone. So that's just started now. He also announced that to all the media he controls to not announce that TDF is surrendered, Dese is surrendered by TDF. Some part of the city is actually under TDF, but not entirely. But it is circled. There's a lot of heavy weapons in Dese. So TDF is making sure, number one, those heavy weapons will not be taken off to other part of the region that we have to continue the fight. Number two, they're minimizing civilian casualties, but also they're trying to avoid having a fight that is house to house inside the city. Same is true in Kombolcha. With that, again, Western Tigray is still under Eritrean occupation. For those who get upset when I use the word Eritrean, they want me to say Hegdef because they wanted to be politically correct. When our people are being killed and thrown into the Takaza River, when our women are raped and their limbs are cut off by Eritrean forces, by Abiy Ahmed forces, by Isaias Afwerki forces, when we talk about this, we can't say we're tired of this. We are not. We will not be tired of our people. The Tagar blood that is out there that we see, whether a couple of captured soldiers being beheaded or any civilians that are under attack by the Amhara militia, by the Amhara Fano, by the Hegdef or Eritrean army, and the so-called federal troops of former Ethiopia, which is my favorite word that I like to use is not Ethiopia, but former state of Ethiopia.
I like
there
that.
That's what we're bringing awareness. Americans now understand. They don't ask where Tigray is. They don't ask what this flag stands for, but they ask, how can we help? So, which is what I want to come to the protest. So, how's it? I'm going to start with you. So, do you want to kind of give us a kind of a portion of the day one, day two, whatever, and then we'll jump back to somehow to give her an opportunity. What exactly we're doing, what's going on, if you can just share it with the audience.
Definitely, yeah. So we'll be having a 4-day commemoration event in DC starting on the anniversary, November 4th of the genocide. And so each day we'll have different events. So we're asking all of our communities to come out, both our Tagarus and our allies, to please join us in commemorating the 1-year marking of this genocide and asking the world to take action. It's been 12 months, as you mentioned, Mike. It has been a full 12 months, and we're still here begging people to care and for the international community to take action. So the first day, Thursday, November 4th, it's going to be the first protest. And so of the 4 days, there will be 2 protests. And the first one will be on November 4th. It'll be from 10 to 3. So a 5-hour protest, kind of around Union Square. And then that evening, there'll be a vigil marking the 1 year. And then I can go to the next day, and then I'll let Samal take the last 2 days. So the day 2 of the event, Friday, November 5th, it's going to be a memorial from 2 to 7 in Washington Monument. And then there will be a fundraiser in the evening. So those are going to be the first 2 days. Do you want to take the last 2?
Yeah. So on Saturday, we will also be having a caravan protest as well as a march. People are encouraged to come at 10 a.m. so that we can get your cars ready and, decorate them in time for the protest to start. So we were saying that, the youth should march if possible, and then let the elders, participate in the caravan, because we do kind of want to keep that at an even split. And then that will be over at 3 p.m. So it'll start at 11 a.m. You need to be there at 10 a.m. to get your car decorated. And then we will have a gathering that evening at 4 p.m. in the Washington Monument, as well as a Makata 2 fundraiser, and that'll be from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. And then Sunday, there will be a farewell picnic for everyone, and that will start at 3 p.m. and that will be back at the Washington Monument as well. And then I know that there is going to be an exhibition. Hausen, do you want to talk about that exhibition?
Yeah. There's going to be a Call It a Genocide exhibition. It'll be a photo and art exhibition showing kind of the stages of genocide that have occurred during these past 12 months. It's going to be on 3 days. Yeah, so it'll be November 5th, 6th, and 7th. And you can pop in anytime during the hours that it's open. I think it's just that I think it's from 10 to 5 every day. And so you can come in, and please bring your friends, your family to witness that. The other big thing I just wanted to add, for those that are going to come a little bit early on November 3rd, there's going to be a protest kind of making time, so that we all kind of have consistent messaging in our protest signs. Sorry, our posters for the protests. And so what we want to make sure we're doing is that we have more posters and flags, so that our messaging is very clear to those who are going to be seeing us do the march. And so if you're there on November 3rd, you can come in and participate in the poster making session, or you can just bring your own posters. But we want to make sure that we're using similar language. So we really want to call it a genocide, pushing that the international community call it a genocide. And then any kind of language around marking the 1-year anniversary of this genocide.
So the other hashtag will be 1 year.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I was just going to say the same thing. And then use the other hashtag will be 1 year of genocide, of Tigray genocide. Yeah. So those are the two hashtags we want to use during the video campaigns that'll be going on that day too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there will be, in addition to kind of our physical presence, we'll have kind of the same digital campaigns, Twitter campaigns, video campaigns that are happening at the same time as the protests.
So during the protest, what are the main themes? What are the main subject lines that we're going to be utilizing that's different than what we've done so far for the last 12 months? Now this has been the 1-year anniversary of the evil act by Abiy Ahmed and Isaias Afwerki of Eritrea and Ethiopia, former state of Ethiopia.
Yeah, we want to take the parts that have worked really well. So consistent messaging, clear chants. We want to make sure people can hear us as we chant. We want to make sure that like Samal said during the caravan, that people see really clearly when we're driving by what we're pushing. So the call it a genocide is going to be a really big one. It's been 12 months and the international community has threatened sanctions, this executive order, but hasn't actually taken sustainable steps to end this. And so that's going to be a lot of the messaging around calling it a genocide. We're going to make sure we have QR codes lined up on the cars, make sure people who are walking by are getting flyers to find more ways they can learn more, take them to OMNA, the Tigray Action Committee, things like that, to make sure that the people on the street are engaging with us, as well as the people who are seeing our cars drive by. And then again, marking the 1 year, it's been 12 months. So making sure people know that this genocide is still happening. Like you said, in Humera, it's clearly happening. And now the bombs being dropped in Mekelle consistently, plus the siege, right? The famine. So really calling out how our people are starving and dying daily. It's going to be some of the messaging that we're going to push. Samal, did I miss anything?
No, I was just going to add to that pretty much what you said. What we're really going to focus on is the humanitarian crisis, as well as the sexual assault, like things that the American people, can understand and relate to. So, man-made famine, over 25,000 women, being sexually assaulted, our places of worship, being bombed and looted. So, like keeping that message clear, because, it's like in TDF we trust, or TPLF is our elected government. It doesn't really mean anything to the American community as much as if you have a sign. We were like really saying, like, tell their stories. Young boy abducted from home, body chopped up, left. His mother wasn't able to bury him. Like just using language that our allies can understand as well. And then we are encouraging everyone to invite one friend, who's not a part of the Tigray community, to come, whether it's to a protest or a candlelight, or the other various fundraisers that are going on.
So we also, I think, since I've been kind of part of the committee that's been working behind the scene, you guys and the rest of us, and you mentioned some of the candle visual lights that we're going to do. Well, also part of our agenda is going to be to obviously push and pressure the American government and the international community to take action, whether it be military embargo sanctions, economic sanctions, pushing and forcing Abiy Ahmed of the former state of Ethiopia to turn on electricity and telephone services, public services, basically. One of you guys want to jump on that and kind of elaborate exactly the target and what that means to our communities in Tigray that's been suffering for coming up 12 months next week?
Sure. Yeah, I can take it, and somehow you can add anything that I miss. Yeah, Mike, you're right. Our targets, we're in DC, right? We're in the place where laws are made, legislation is pushed. Right now, there was some amendments to House Resolution 445, which is pushing for more action to be taken in Tigray in relation to the genocide. They added language to determine whether or not what is happening is a genocide, which is a huge step. But they have to get it passed. They have to start taking the actions to really save our people. So the fact that we're doing this in DC is intentional. It's where we can really target our policymakers to act. And so that's what we'll be targeting. We've reached out to so many Congress people, senators, to ask them to not only speak up and do more to support our people, but also to come to the protest, to come to see the art exhibit, to understand why we are demanding that this be called a genocide. It's very clear. All 10 stages have occurred. And so we are directly targeting our lawmakers in DC and throughout the United States. You mentioned that we're having our Tagaru from Canada joining. They'll be targeting their representatives too from DC to take action. So that those are the groups that we're going to be targeting.
And Peace is saying thank you to both of you for what you do, of course. So I'm just sharing some of those comments on the screen. Somehow, obviously, we bump into each other, we chant, we rose up every protest that we've been. While I'm excited to really see you guys and every Tigrayans that we now become as one family, there's also a part of the discussion that we have had. I know it's a pretty matured, and it's only a week away, or less than a week actually, but is it premature for me to say that the biggest wish that I have personally is to see Tigray 100% free by Christmas? So my Christmas gift is for many of us to enter the Tigray through Sudan?
I don't think it's premature at all. That's what we mean when we're saying, like in TDF, we trust Tigray will prevail, and our victory, is inevitable. It's the timing that's unfortunate, because in this 12 months, how many lives we've lost, and not even Christmas, like how many holidays we haven't celebrated. Like we don't sleep easy, like day and night. It's everything for Tigray. Like I feel like everyone's just been kind of like holding their breath, and then it's just like there's been no quality of life, and there can't be until Tigray is free. Our families have food to eat, have a home that they could be safe in. So it's just it's bittersweet, because again, it's great to keep your community ties close. So meeting up with these people and kind of having a shoulder to lean on, and just knowing that there's a group of people going through the same exact thing that you are. But then at the same time too, it's like, I would love to stop meeting you guys at protests. Like, we can have retreats and, vacations and stuff where we can hang out. But that is our reality right now until Tigray is free.
Howzin? You can jump right in. I guess, I know that I asked her if it's premature for me to wish that for all of us to be at peace once for all, and for Tigray to be free. And by Christmas, we can actually have, communications, whether it be in person or over the phone, with our family in Tigray, because I don't want to turn into politics. But when the enemy soldiers come and they're captured before, especially now, before they are having any opportunity to go to Tigray and do what they did before, what I see on Tigray television and other platform is that, oh, I'm doing well. They treated me very well. I'm eating, I'm drinking. They're going to release us soon. Mom, Dad, I'll see you later. Or like, please send my message to my family. And we're just like, we all have family in Tigray, but we haven't spoken to them for what?
Yeah.
Or like a year coming up now. So when you see that, for many Tigrayans and the diaspora, including the three of us here, it's painful. There's no words for me to express or explain. What is, like, your hope? What is the end goal for us, meeting in DC? But then, I like what somehow say, actually, in TDF we trust. Thank you. That's powerful. But how's that for you? The question that I'm having.
Yeah, no, it's painful to see that. My dad is in Tigray. We haven't spoken to him for over 5 months now. My grandmother's, aunts, uncles, right? So it is painful, it is hurtful. However, in TDF we trust, right? And so it's allowing the process to happen, praying, hoping that our families are going to make it through each step of this, right? The bombing, the famine, the sexual assault. For me, when you ask, will Tigray be free by Christmas? There's so many levels of freedom, I feel like potentially a part of it will be free by, I pray that it'll be free by Thanksgiving, right? Like, I'm an optimist. I keep thinking, like, could it be tomorrow? And I know it's it's further out than that, but Tigray, for me, when opening communication and ending the siege are just a part of freedom. There's so much more we need to do to truly get free, including simple things like food and healthcare and aid, and being able to control these things, being able to control our electricity and our phone lines and our access. I think those things are going to take more time, but I am hopeful that our first level of freedom, to just be able to go to the bank and take some money out, or go call your family and say hello, I definitely think, I'm hopeful it's in a couple of weeks. But so definitely by Christmas, I think we'll have more of a vision of what the future of Tigray looks like. But I'm hopeful that we get some layers of freedom here soon.
I like the Thanksgiving. I mean, I did let my employers know that comes Christmas, Tigray is free. You're not going to get like a proper notice for me to be gone.
Yeah, right. I'll be gone for 6 months. Save my job. Yeah.
Sick leave or family leave, whatever it is. I mean,
Yeah.
that, I mean, and I guess I threw that in there because I really want us to mix like a positive energy, right? Because, the reason we're not, depressed to the point that we give it up is because we are energetic. Tigrayans, the enemy can buy weapons, can buy all these sophisticated like technologies, right? But what they cannot buy is the courage, the heart, the desire to fight and stand for your people and for your own survival. The way they came and attacked Tigray. If Tigrayans were not brave, if Tigrayans were the kind of people they accept slavery over bravery, we would have been gone. And that reflects on the ground, but also reflects in the diaspora. What we've done politically, when I was in Sudan, and including now, when I'm communicating for those who are fighting the front line. The future of Tigray falls on you guys and the young generation that we see day and night out protesting, shutting down all these embassies, and continuing to build mount the pressure economically. So they really are encouraged by what we do. So I want to make sure that you guys and many of the young Tagaru throughout the world are remaining positive. While not to get excited, I think, we need to have that level of like appreciation to one another, to motivate one another to continue this fight, so that Tigray, by Thanksgiving, you called it, by Christmas, I guess, and you're right, my way of thinking, being free, is that precisely for us to be able to talk to them, for us to know that we can help them, so that the bank system is open, that we can send them money, they can buy food. There is, the basic public service, which is part of the protest theme that we're going to have, right? To open the public service. To do that, the enemy has to be removed from the corridor that they are so fighting hard, trying to stay in that process of using starvation as a weapon for Tigrayans.
No, I agree. Yeah, I think that's the most immediate need right now. And like you said, that'll be what we're pushing at the protest. Somehow did I interrupt you? I'm sorry, sis.
No, I was reading this comment. I was just laughing because of the comments, but no, you guys are right. I did want to add on to something you said. You said that, when you see the videos of the people getting fed and, like we can't talk to our families and they're like, okay and stuff. I think about that too. And I'm like, we could have fundraised just like the Ethiopian Diaspora did. And we could have got bomb drones and been bombing these Amhara cities. But again, like I have to constantly ask myself and remind myself, like if we did that, then we wouldn't be any better than them. What would be the difference between you and I? So I think that it's kind of like almost poetic justice, because you see these videos and you saw like how, again, we've been courageous, but honestly, we've been heartbroken. Like, we're watching our brothers and sisters not only get thrown off cliffs, but, nails inside of like women's vaginal parts. Like horror movies have not even scripted the evil things that have been done to our people. So how easy would it have been for us to get retaliation? But instead, you're right, we're giving these people water. Like, we're not treating them as animals. Like we're not returning the same behavior that they have committed for the last 12 months in Tigray. So I think it's just a testament of like who we are, like what our heart is, what it means to be, resilient, what it means to rise above, what it means to be God-fearing people instead of these priests who go out in front of the Capitol and advocate for a genocide. Like it's not only, through diplomacy, it's not only through like our Twitter campaigns, the fact that, God is on our side is just like, you literally see what it means, what Tigray means, like who we are, like we are showing the world who we are. So I think it's just like even more powerful, because it's easy to be vengeful or to, retaliate, especially after all of this. Like, sometimes we even have moments where we're just like, I hope that TDF buries them, or we say things like they're going to be the soil which Tigray grows on, but we see what TDF is doing, and it's unheard of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you mentioned, Micah, about like not losing our energy and staying positive, and I feel like we've done a really good job with that as a community. I think it's so depressing, like you said, Samal, to be watching these videos and feel so helpless. And it's good to take that mental break and to re-energize yourself. And I'll say for me, when the first day Michaela got bombed, I was so upset. I was so depressed because I thought that we were past that point in this war, in this genocide. And so for me, it was pretty shocking. And I was like, I can't get out of bed. I can't function today. But then I got up and kept it moving. And the next day we just kept fighting and kept pushing so that the world knows what's happening. But I think it's healthy to take those breaks. But you're right, Mike, we got to come back and keep fighting for our people who don't have the privilege that we do to be here tweeting and talking and typing and doing all the things that we're able to do in the diaspora. We have to keep it up for them.
I don't know if we are, oops, I think, there we go. Thought we almost lost you. We're almost wrapping things up here, but before we do so, anything that you guys want to add? I know that we're going to have a picnic farewell on our last day. So it's important for people to know that when we have it from the 4th through the 7th, on the 7th, which is Sunday, which many people like to fly away and be home and whatnot, stay until the 8th, because Sunday, after our protest or after all the activities that we've done, we'd like to get together. We'd like to have a picnic. We'd like to, of course, we'll mask up. And hopefully by now, the majority of us, if not all of us, are vaccinated. So COVID in mind. So you guys want to just briefly mention on the things that we didn't touch bases today? On the agenda that we have for that week?
Yeah. I think one thing, if you haven't got your ticket yet, what are you waiting for? Hurry up, get your ticket. But if you haven't gotten your hotel, there is a group discount code through NextGen Tagaru. So there are hotel discounts if you haven't got your hotel booked yet. So reach out to them, Next Gen Tagato. They can hook you up with a discount. But I think that's all of it.
By the way, I'll talk to you guys outside, but I've got a few people that have issue with the code, with the disc. I have the discount code for the hotel. I'm not going to say it on air.
Yeah.
But they reached out to me because they have an issue of a little glitch. Okay. So my point is, for those of you internally who are like in our groups, social media and whatnot, that you have an issue, committee that's available is not working for some people. The discount.
Okay. Code. I guess that's something we'll work on. We'll get it figured out after the call, because this is the first that we've heard of it. Most people have been able to access it.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, I think Dese, Kambolcha, Abiy Ahmed said, if those two cities, actually he said if Dese is captured, it is just capturing Addis Ababa. And I don't know if you guys heard, but this morning, he just landed in Dubai, Emirates.
I didn't hear that. I didn't know that. Wow.
So, oh yeah.
Okay, no, I didn't hear.
Yeah, Mike, you cut out pretty bad.
Yeah, I'm like, we can't. Yeah.
We're trying to.
Not sure if he's coming back, but that could sign narrative here. But
I guess closing remarks. Stay resilient, Tigray. I'm like,
that's what keeps us resilient.
The enemy wants us to get tired and give up. So as long as we are here, like, we're going to continue to use every platform and privilege to advocate for the plight of our people. And as we have seen, these 12 months went by like so fast, but yet so slow. We're not going to get tired until did it end?
No, let's keep going. I think it's just on Mike's side. You're doing great.
Oh, okay, yeah. We won't rest until Tigray's free. Howden, back to you.
No, I think that's it. Yes, we need to keep up the energy. What keeps me energized is TDF's hard work and our people's resilience back home. So let's keep it up. We hope to see you in DC in the next few days, and make sure we let the world know that this is still happening and that we need the international community to act now. Call it a genocide. Stop the suffering.
And you don't have to be from Tigray to stand with the people of Tigray.
That's right.
Mike Lowry said, let's plan a group trip to Tigray as soon as the conflict ends. Let's pour in money and support.
Amen. Amen. All right, Sam, I think I'm the only one on the screen, so I'm going to hit leave the studio and we'll wrap it up.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Arte.
Oh, look, there's
Mike's back.
Mike's back. Wrap up your stuff.
That's what it
Tigray to the west. We were
sorry,
almost
guys.
there.
I don't know what just went wrong, but looks like we are having just some kind of technical difficulties or issues. We apologize. We were actually about to wrap it up, but the moment I mentioned about Abiy Ahmed not being in Ethiopia, all of a sudden the system started getting fuzzy. So that is very interesting. So maybe I need to stop mentioning his name, so I'm not having this kind of issue. There you go. Somehow you're back. There, well, now both of you guys are back.
Some fans.
So maybe I should have not.
Did you see that? Somebody said they're gonna be you for Halloween.
Oh,
you're famous.
No, I mean,
that's a good costume.
Samuel.
I missed that.
Yeah. Yeah, you're iconic.
Okay, Mike, I think you have to go. You have something else, right?
Always. So, well, we got to, as always, in Arabic and Tigrinya, we got to throw in some closing words. So remember, we talked about that earlier. So, بتግርኛ እውን ያው ዓለም ሙሉእ ዘሎ ህዝብና ድምፅና ተጋሩ ምዃንና መንነትና ብደስ ዝበለክን ሕፅረ ሕፅረ ቢልክን ግለጻ
Okay, I guess ኣጆኹም ኣብ ጎንኹም ኢና ዘለና ፅባሕ እውን ክወግሕ እዩ ንሕና እውን ኣብዚ ንቃለስ ኣለና ኢና ትግራይ ትዕወት
እዋ ኣመን ትግራይ ትስዕር
you know
go ahead. Please interrupt me. That's good. Thank you.
Yeah. That was good. That was good, guys. So, you know, تقندي تاي مسلكن تم صلاتنا ون بتاعم زحرقهم كما يقرنا نحنا بحدا نسرح مخانا كما يقرنا نفاتو مخانا كما يقرنا دقنا تقامقنا تبهلنا تاريخنا زي نرسع مخانا زقونو لنا زلو هي تمحاركو ኣብ ሱዳን ተወሊድክን ክልተኽን ትግርኛ በደንብ እናሰማዕኽን ዝረአኑ ሽኩራን እየ ዝብለካ ኣብ ሱዳን ስለ ዝነበርና ኩና so ትግራይ ትስዕር እናሰዓረት እያ ኣብ ዝወናዮ ብእንግሊዝኛ ኣብ ዋሽንግተን ዲሲ ናይ 4 መዓልቲ ኢና ንገብሮ ዘለና ስለዚዩ ከይትተርፉ ንዑ ኩልኹም ቅድሚ ሕዚ መፅኡ ዘይፈልጥ ናብ ሰላማዊ ሰልፊ ሰብ ሒዝኩም ሓደ ሓደ ከም ሰምሃር ዝበለቶ ዓዲምኩም ኣምፅኡ ዕሩኽትኩም ፃዓዱ ኮኑ ፀለምቲ ኮኑ ናትና ኮኑ መፅኦም ዘይፈልጡ ቅድሚ ሕዚ ናብ ሰላማዊ ሰልፊ ሓደ ሓደ ኩልና ከም ገለ ገርና ዓዲምና ነምፅእ እዚ እናበልና ናይ ሎማዓንቲ ፕሮግራምና ዝነበረ ዛዕባ ናይ ዋሽንግተን ዲሲ ናይ ሓደ ዓመት ኣብ ትግራይ ህዝቢ ኣብ ትግራይ ሃገር ዝስራሕ ዝፀንሐ ግፍዕታት ከመይ ገርና ድምፅና ሒዙ እውን ብሓፈሻዊ ብበዝሒ 4 መዓልቲ ሙሉእ ከመይ ገርና ክነስምዖና ዓለም ኢልና ዝመደብናዮ ብገፊሑ ተዘጋጅዩ ዝፀንሐ እዩ እዚ እናበልና ተናይ ተጋሩ ሚድያታት እውን ካብ ሳይበር ፓወር ጀሚርና ኩለን ዘለዋ ንኽዓብያ ንኽገፍሓ ብሞራል ብኩሉ ነገር እናተደጋገፍና ክንዓቢ ብሓደ ፅባሕ ንጎ ተመሊስና ንትግራይ ነብሲ ወከፍ እንኳን ኣብ ትግራይ ተወለድና ኣብ ሱዳን ተወሊድን ኣሕዋትና ትሪእዎን ኣለኹም ንትግራይን ዝቃላሳ ዘለዋ ስለዚሁ ኣብ ስደት ኣብ ዳያስፖራ ኣብ ኣሜሪካ እውን ተወለዱ ብክንደይ ሸሓታት ዝቁፅሩ ዓለም ሙሉእ ኣብ ደገ ተወለዱ መናእሰይ ደቂ ተጋሩ ትጅግንነቶም ካብዚ ንላዕሊ ምስክር ዘድለ ይመስለን ብናተይ ርእቶ ስለዚ እዚ እናበልኩ ናይ ሎማዓንቲ ፕሮግራምና ዝሓዝናዮ ናይ ዋሽንግተን ዲሲ ሰላማዊ ሰልፊ ዝመፅእ ዘሎ ኣብኡ ከም እንራኸብ ተስፋ ይገብር ዓለም ሙሉእ ዘለኹም ኣሕዋት ተጋሩ ኣሕዋተይ ሓተይ ንሕና ፖለቲከኛታት ኣይኮናን እዘን ኣሕዋትና እዚአን ፖለቲከኛታት ኣይኮናን ስራሕ ኣለዎን እዩ ቤተሰብ ኣለዎን እዮም ኣነም ከምኡ ፃዕርና ቃልስና ግን እንታይ ክገብር እዩ ኣነ በይነይ ኢልክ ትሓስብ ትግራዋይት እንተሊኻ ኢልካ ትሓስብ ትግራዋይ እንተሊኻ ገይጋ እዩ ኣብዚ ሰዓት እዚዩ ሞያ ዘይብሉ ትግራዋይ ሞያ ዘይብላ ትግራወይቲ የላን ኩልና ሰብ ሞያ ኢና ብተፈላለየ ደረጃ ንትግራይ ንጠቕማ ኢና ስለዝኾነ ንፃዓረላ ብሓደ ኮይና በይንትና ኣይንብከይ በይንትና ኣይንሕዘን ተስፋ ኣይንቁረፅ እወ ግፍዒ ይበፅሕ ለ ህዝብና ፅባሕ ንጎ ግን ክትወግሕ እያ ትግራይ ሰላም ክትከውን እያ ንዘለኣለም ሃገር ክትከውን እያ እዚ እናበልና የቕኒየለይ ኣሕዋተይ ክልተ ይኽን thank you guys we'll end in our program I'll see you guys next week
see you in DC
thank you
thank you